Greetings and salutations, and welcome back. So there's an update for the game Empyrion, Alpha 9.7, and I've completed my wish list. So some of my items are specific. For instance, right here I'm suggesting bombing runs, but only for small vessels, while others can be shared. I have a mock small vessel, mock hover, and bases should represent both bases and capital ships. So let's begin. Yes, I have suggested bombing runs. I would love to see bombing runs, but only for small vessels. This is an exterior bombing run, but there is also interior bombing run, or bombing runs. Yeah, bombing runs. The idea behind this should be there needs to be a specific seat for the bombing run, and a new type of specialized detector for the bombing runs. Now, for interior bombing runs, you need a seat, but for exterior, you can use a cockpit. So when you sit down, the detector, there's a map with the detector, and it gives a range. And when you get into a certain range of, let's say, right here, where the little pointer is at, is an enemy base. When you get into a certain range, a warning signal will go off. And you can either, A, do it yourself, or B, have it done manually, not manually, automatically. And either way, the doors will open up, and bombs away. Now, up next is slanted doors. When I first built in Alpha 8, my battleship, I thought it'd be nice to have slanted doors. Hold on. Oop, lag. As you can see, those little slants right there, to have little slanted doors. And when you opened up the slanted door, you could take out a weapon, anti-personnel, anti-vehicle, and increase firepower. There are no slanted doors in the game. These are ramps. They're not, for those who don't play, ramps are not airtight, so you lose pressure. Another advantage of a slanted door is to be a docking system. For instance, small vessels, capital vessels, hovers, they can dock to a base like that. Kind of like when you go to an airport and you land and you're boarding or onboarding, you got that little walkway. Oh, and also the small vessels and hover vessels to have their own smaller versions of the elevator block. So, let's slow that up. So up next would be for small vessel only. On small vessels, you only get fixed weapons, while hover and capital get turrets. After a while, I find fixed weapons to be completely useless. So my idea is to have a special build for small vessels to be like a turret. Think like the turrets of the B-17 or the bombers of World War II. Again, you need a seat specific to hook up. You can have one on the side or one in the middle. Maximum is 2. And the turret can be also retractable. They go down, they go into the structure. But you can do it by yourself with a detector, or a combination of the two. And like the interior bombing run, a map pops up. It shows the enemies. Bam, and you click on the enemy. Bam, 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 and it's automatically targeted. Now, oh yeah, you can also have mix and match. Now, another item on the wish list. These are called air brakes. They're decoration. I think they're going to have a function in future updates, I'm not sure. But I'd like to see the addition of a gas giant, or wind being more useful in the game. So, basically, what I'm asking for is sailing ships. This will save on thruster energy, and just energy in general. And for items to have multifunction. For instance, when the sail hits wind, the idea is the wind channels down here and charges a battery. Another thing I like to see is lightning becoming more of a danger, and you need antennas on all your builds to channel the lightning and save your base. And once again, for vessels, charge a battery. Or, yeah, I guess even a base could do that. The multifunction here is, of course, lightning hits, charge the battery. If there's too much electricity, it has 2 antennas, so one can be a discharge, so your batteries don't blow up, but also to allow these antennas to be a drone extension, or drone extension range, so you can go even further than you can now. How far can I go? Oh, 60 meters. And some people have asked for the ability to build extra drones, and I do kind of like this idea. So you can have drones defend your, in this case, small vessel, kind of like an aircraft carrier, or a drone carrier, actually. Oh, you hear that in the back? That's, again, the family dog. Now the next item is to have a multi-directional thrust. A thruster that can push you forward, but if you're going backwards, the door opens up and pushes you backwards, sideways, and what have you. But this is only for capital vessels and small vessels. I have a different version for the hover vehicle I'll get to in a moment. Now, for all vessel builds, I built this yellow pontoon looking thing. For all 3, I like to see the ability to have buoyancy in water. And when we go down to the hover vessel, I'll show you why. Okay, so this is the hover engine for hover vehicles. I'd like to see the usefulness of having it buoyant, so when you land in water, you can save energy, but have it be a hydrogen cell, a multifunctional item, and it generates electricity. But it also can generate water and O2, along with these intake fans that are right now decoration. And the reason for this is because they just recently added an ocean planet to the game. I think it's fresh water. I'm not sure about salt. And I have expressed that I'd love to see decompression sickness in the game, and you need a specialized chamber to get rid of it in hover vessels. Okay there? Okay. I'd also like to see water be more of an importance in the game if it's saltwater. If it's saltwater planet. On a saltwater planet, I'm sorry. Basically, it's Subnautica meets Empyrion, where you need water to get rid of your dehydration. So another function for this new hover engine would be also to generate water, but there's a trade-off. In fresh water, it generates water a lot quicker, but power a lot slower. Salt water is naturally electromagnetic, so it'll generate power a lot faster, but it'll generate water that you need a lot slower. In addition to alternative power, I'd like to see the University of MIT and Michigan has developed transparent solar panels, while the University of Beijing in China has developed a solar panel with a polymer on it that in the moisture, mist, rain, it generates electricity. I'd like to see the combination of that in a window for all builds. Some people like to see underwater bases. I guess I can see that. But have it be multifunction, so it generates power in addition to being a window. Now this, ALON, Allen, is sometimes called transparent aluminum. It's not, it's lab-created sapphire. Very strong. So to have that also as an addition, it's strong, generates power, just multifunctional, and of course powers up a battery. Now this red pontoon, like I said, for the small vessel and capital vessel sails, for the hover vessel to have an alternative to thrusters. I can't remember the exact scientific name, but it's called solar sailing. It's not. Some people think you ride the solar sails like a sailing ship. No, it's pressure, radiation, pushing against your ship. Basically the concept is there's a laser in a vacuum, and it shoots to one end, pushes against this end or that end, and helps turn your ship, but at a slower rate of movement. Before we go any further, on the inside, the hypothetical inside, these little lights, I'd like to suggest a new type of defense against spiders, nightmares, scorpions, something like the survival rifle's defense mode. So that way your turrets don't waste ammunition. Also, it can because the defense mode can also cut down trees. you can set it to that also. You can set it either to defense or cutting down trees. No, oh, come on. There we go. Of course, I also like to see the addition for hover and small vessels to have their own version of the bed or a rack like this that can fold into the wall or into the floor, bathroom or a head, and a shower. And to allow their own version of the food processor called the galley. Now, before we leave this, there, to see a new version of the multi-turret and the drill turret, basically to be one turret. Basically, like what's it called? Alright, one barrel will be on top of the other or something. Just be as multifunctional as possible to save space. Or, in multiplayer, you have four people, and like the, multi-tool, you have more options. You can drill, you can repair, salvage. A combination of the multi-tool and the drill, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Save that for later. Alright. Now, these decorations are only base and capital ship specific. I'd like to see a small version, another version for the small vessel and the hover vessel. This one, however, would capital vessel only to help in orbit to ground bombardment. While this one, for all three vessel builds, will be to set course. For example, when you come up here, you click on it, a map pops up, and you can set a course for your small vessel, capital vessel, hover vessel, or if you're in space, you can set a course around the planet and not have to worry about it. Because people would like to see moving around in their ships. They can move around in their ships when the ships are moving. You can't do that in the game. You have to sit down. I'd like to see that too, because some of my builds require you to move around when the ship is moving. So again, you go there, you set course, don't have to worry about it, and when you get to your destination, it stops. Or when you want to change course, you change course and stop there. Alright, so I'm at 12. I'm trying to keep these videos short. So in my next video, I'm going to begin with the avatar, of what I like to see for the avatar that you play. So good night or day wherever you may be. I am signing out.